Hey YouTube, Yestergear PC here. This is my Tandy 1200 XT clone computer. Today we'll be taking a look at this little gem from my collection. Let's switch her on and get started. This Tandy 1200 started its life as a 2FD model with 256K of RAM and dual 360K floppies. On startup, you may have noticed the Palm zip driver. This is used to access first-generation zip drives on any PC compatible older than a 286 or using a DOS version prior to 4.0. I've had this machine for about 2 years, and I've done several upgrades we'll cover shortly. This is the Tandy Enhanced Keyboard, which automatically switches between XT and AT modes. It's a foam-type keyboard. Now, I'll take the top cover off and show you all what's going on under the hood. This is the original blinking plate from the 1200, but I modified it here to add a hard drive LED. It's blue, which is all I had on hand at the time. Here we have dual Tandon 360K floppies. The bottom drive currently isn't working. I need to fix that sometime soon. The original power supply, a little dusty here, puts out about 130 watts. So let's move back to the expansion cards. Here we have a WinBond serial and parallel adapter. Next up is my home-built Glitchworks XT IDE board. I'll put the link in the description if you'd like to build your own. They're quite handy boards. And finally, a Western Digital 8-bit VGA board powered by a Paradise chip. Next up is the RAM. This machine originally shipped with only 256 kilobytes, but I have since upgraded it to a full 640K. There's the CPU and AT-style keyboard connector. Over here is a Western Digital 4.3 gigabyte hard drive. DOS, of course, can only use a 2 gigabyte partition at a time. I installed this drive instead of using a compact flash card because I think an XT class machine should just have that spinning drive sound going on. Let's jump back into DOS now. For some reason, a directory listing command takes quite some time to calculate the free space the first time I run it on this machine. I believe that's caused by a combination of the drive size, the CPU speed, and the XT IDE adapter. It only takes this long the first time I run it each time it's rebooted, and works normally after that. There we go. Let's load up Windows and see how it runs on this wholly underspec'd machine. As you can see, we're running Windows 3.0. Oh man, that color scheme is horrible. I'm not sure how that one ended up there. Let's change that first and get to something that's not so tough on the eyes. You can see here just how slowly this machine loads Windows items. I'll be speeding up several pieces of footage from here on out and clipping out long waits occasionally. I like the ocean color scheme in Windows 3, so I'm going to switch to that one for this session. Oops, misclicked. That's much better. Let's close Control Panel and check out what games are on this machine. Oh, Solitaire, the perennial favorite. This loads the cards in so slowly. I can't imagine using this machine in Windows on a daily basis. It just doesn't quite pass muster. And at this point, my old serial ball mouse decided it did not want to work anymore. Let's go ahead and use the keyboard and quit Windows to check out some DOS games. First up, I think we'll check out Frogger 2. Excuse the hum on the audio. I had to put the microphone into the computer's case to pick up the PC speaker, and it's right beneath the hard disk drive. Okay, that's enough of Frogger. I don't like dying so quickly. Next up is a Space Invaders clone. Pardon the silence, I accidentally hit the mute button when trying to figure out the movement controls. And finally, we have X3, the brainchild of David Murray, better known as the 8-bit guy. This game actually runs pretty well on this hardware, even in VGA mode. Let's build a factory. Alright, on to the benchmarks. This is 3D Bench 1.0 Superscape. I'm going to speed this way up to 40x because this simple benchmark run actually took me about 15 minutes to complete. Almost there. And there we are, a whole 0.6 frames per second. You can see the actual speed the benchmark was running here. That's slow. Next up is Check It. This is a great testing and benchmarking tool for older machines. Let's take a look at the system config here. You can see the NEC V20 CPU, 640K of RAM, and VGA listed. Next, let's do the benchmark. Sped up, of course. You can see that the machine outpaces an actual IBM XT by a little, thanks to the V20 CPU. Next is the hard drive benchmark. Wait for completion. And here we see that our transfer speed is much better than a vintage XT. But for some reason, the seek and track seek times are a lot lower. I'm going to have to investigate this further later on. So there you have it. The Tandy 1200 is a great little machine and holds a warm place in my collection. If you like this content, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can see what machine I cover next. See you later.